In the era of recession, when the layoffs were going on, you have cracked big giants of the industry. So, what is the secret behind it?
It's like means you have to build a good track record so that you are ahead of others. So that's why I told that start from second year, you will have a head start.
Gemini, the AI model of Google, is on the way, and the ChatGPT is also getting advanced day by day. So, doing coding in 2024 is safe or not?
I think means this is a very big question to answer, but I generally think that calculators didn't take away the job of mathematicians.
So, how important the soft skills are? Like good communication skill, good presentation skill. How much important they are?
I think not just for the interviews, like good communication skills or good or soft skills, as you say, are very important.
So, suppose there is a student who doesn't know anything about coding. So, what should be a correct path for him to learn coding?
If someone doesn't really know what is coding or has never done coding before in school or something like before coming into college, so the best thing will be start with the basics. Like
one last question: that how is the work culture at Google? Like what perks software engineer gets?
I think we get a lot of perks. Like not only in Google, like when I used to work at Microsoft.
Okay, so hello everyone. Myself Divyanan Tripathi, and today we have Anish sir with us. He has completed his BTech in Computer Science and Technology from IIEST Singapore, and currently he is working in Google as a software engineer. Before Google, he has worked in Microsoft, Media.net, and LeetCode. So I welcome you, sir, on an IT blogger.
Thanks for inviting me for the blog. Really looking forward to having a meaningful and exciting conversation.
Okay. So can you please share your journey of from being a normal student to software engineer at Google?
Okay, so I started my graduation back in 2019. The year before the COVID. So I think I got into IST due to my JEE mains rank and all of those competitive programming. So after getting into CS, basically like what you need to focus is that you need to get good at coding first of all. I had coding in my high school, so I had a bit of head start. You can say that I pretty much knew what are the basics of coding and basically what you actually do in coding or how programming is done. So I had the basic knowledge of all of those. So I started programming from the age of 15, that when I was in class 8. So I had a fair bit of knowledge of that. So that actually helped me to get a head start and like carry forward that thing. So in the first year, you don't do a lot of coding because the curriculum is not very coding based in the first year. There is basic maths, chemistry, and physics kind of stuffs in the first year.
Yes.
Only I think one subject is on computer science. Okay.
Yes.
So as others, like I also didn't get a lot of time to focus on coding or like carry forward the thing I did back in my school. I was also focused on like studying the subjects that were there in the curriculum. But from the second year, COVID happened and like there was lockdown, as we all know, and we got a bit of free time. As everything was closed, the colleges were closed, the classes were held online, so I got a bit of time. So and also like the curriculum was also more coding based or programming based, and like there were core computer science fundamentals subject. So then that's when I started CP as well. If you don't know what is CP, CP is like competitive programming. Like
Yes. Yes.
it's kind of sports coding or a competition where you are given certain coding problems or algorithmic problems and you have to solve that in a particular time frame. So I started CP also in I think in the beginning of my second year, and since we got a lot of time due to lockdown and all, so we could really focus, means I could really focus on like CP and also the core concepts in computer science subjects like operating system, like database management, and also I started backend at that time, designing backend systems and understanding how backend works. So I think I did that for like a year or so. Like I did these things consistently. uh, Nothing much fancy that I did. Just you need to be consistent. I always say that if you are consistent, you can literally beat like 95% of the people out there. Okay. So everyone should be like really, really consistent, like in what they're doing. For example, like I was really consistent in CP. I was really consistent in learning backend and like database management and a network, computer networks and all those core subjects. Okay. So if you're means if you're consistent in like for like 6 to 12 months, I think you will gain a lot of expertise in the things you are doing. Okay. So after that year, so I basically dedicated my second year into doing all these stuffs. And at the end of second year, I think we had campus internships. Like
Yes.
we have on campus opportunities. So I think Microsoft visited that year for placements and internships as well.
Yes.
So like I got an internship through on campus. So in the internship rounds, like DSA is very important, and also the projects you have done in your second year or the first year. Okay. So, and also one more thing is that like CGPA is very important. Like if you don't clear a if you don't clear the cutoff, CGPA cutoff, you don't get to sit in placements. Also, like even if you clear the cutoff, let's say there are let's say there are two students who are equally good in DSA or equally good in projects. So when there is a tiebreaker, there will always be the tiebreaker will always be done on the basis of CGPA. Like the person who has a higher CGPA will always get higher preference, because like a higher CGPA like generally denotes that you have higher determination level and higher dedication levels, right? So like try to maintain CGPA as high as possible. I'm not telling that you need to be the topper or something like that, but a CGPA over 9 should be good enough. Okay, so try to maintain a CGPA over 9. And I don't think like getting a CGPA over 9 is that difficult if you study like 2 or 3 weeks before the exam. Like I think 9 plus CGPA is easily maintainable. Okay. So maintain CGPA well, do DSA and CP, and also build some projects, like preferably I would say backend, because when you are building backend, like you get to know the core engineering concepts. Like real magic or real engineering is done in backend. Okay, like front end, if you like front end, that's fine. I am not saying that don't do front end, but if like real engineering or real concepts of engineering are there in the backend, like it all happens in the backend rather than in front end. Okay, so try out backend if possible. If you are really interested in front end, you can also go with front end, but like you should really do DSA and CP from the second year itself. And also like be consistent for the whole second year. I'm not telling everyone to start from the first year itself, because like first year you come to a new college, you come to a new environment, take some time to settle down. Don't start running right away. Like it's always better to start walking slowly and then pick up speed than trying to run like or trying to sprint from the first moment and then tripping over. Okay, so in the first year, just used to the environment, get used to the like how grading systems are done for the CGPA thing. And then when you are comfortable with all the things, like getting into the hostel environment, getting into the how the grading systems are done, all of those stuff, so you can start with DSA and CP, and try out front end, back end, or anything you wish to explore. And then when you so basically you will have 1 year of time, like 1 or 1.5 year of time for doing this. So if you do this consistently for 1 and 1.5 year, like you will get opportunities in on campus. And I think the on campus record has gone down a bit, but I think
Yes.
it's good enough to get a decent internship. So if you get a decent internship, what helps that uh, it strengthens your resume first of all. Also, you get a bit of industry experience, and if you do well in the internship, you get a PPA as well. Okay,
Okay.
so basically, one more thing is that like after getting the internship, what you can do here is that first of all, like do the internship well, aim for the PPO, right? Like when you do the internship, you aim for the PPO. Because if you get a PPO, that's you get a placement before the placement season itself. Like if you don't get a PPO, like the preparation phase is literally the same for internship as well as placement. Okay, like one more thing you have to just do that apart from DSA and CP, you also have to study for CS fundamentals, and other things are literally the same. So if you work hard for second and third year, you will get a decent placement, and you can like relax for the fourth year or enjoy for the fourth year. So
Okay.
that's what I would suggest, and that's what I also did in my college life.
In the era of recession, when the layoffs were going on, you have cracked big giants of the industry. So, what is the secret behind it?
I would say that it's not a overnight success. Like you have to get through a series of success. Like it's literally compounding. Like first, if you get a good internship, you get industry experience and you get better. Okay, so when I got a Microsoft internship, I got how means software industry works. Also, I got a PPO because I did well in that. So once you have Microsoft on your resume, so your resume becomes stronger, right? So then I got an offer from LeetCode like to make problems for them, like for bi-weekly contest. So when LeetCode is again there on the resume, your resume gets a little bit more stronger. Then I got offers from Media.net and Cred. I went with Media.net for the internship. So again the resume gets a bit stronger. Okay, so like this, whenever you get something, you get better by a certain margin. You get your resume gets stronger by a certain margin, right? So it's like compounding, like you get one success based on your previous success, and then the next success based on your this success. Okay, so it's like uh, means you have to build a good track record so that you are ahead of others. So that's why I told that start from second year, you will have a head start. You will get time to build yourself, and like if you get an internship in your third year, that will be the first door, means that will open the first door for you. And gradually you can build on top of that, you can go on building top of that. And once you start building on top of one success, like you, it's easier to get the next success. And then you get a series of success, right? So that's how you literally put means that's how you literally take the compounding effect into your favor.
So, as Gemini, the AI model of Google, is on the way, and the Chat GPT is also getting advanced day by day. So, doing coding in 2024 is safe or not?
I think like means this is a very big question to answer, but I generally think that calculators didn't take away the job of mathematicians, right? So it means what will happen, I think, is that like it will make you more efficient. Like we use ChatGPT and Gemini like for our daily coding activities as well, right? So I think it will take away the jobs if you don't really know how to use AI. Like you will become outdated and you will become slow. So if you just learn how you can leverage AI for like making your work more efficient, and you can fasten up your work. So if you know how to leverage AI in your favor, like it will make you more productive at the end of the day. Like if like let's say writing unit test took like us whole day before, now it takes hardly 30 to 40 minutes with the help of Gemini and ChatGPT and all of those AI stuffs, right? So like learn how you can use AI for writing code, and if you know how to leverage AI for writing code faster and more efficiently, I think it will only make you better, and like it will also help you to be ahead of others.
So, one who doesn't get internship offer at his or her campus, so from where he can apply to these big companies like my Google and Microsoft and all.
So basically, I did like around I think 6 to 7 internships in my whole college life. Right.
Okay.
So only one Microsoft was only on campus. Like all the other internships were off campus. Like I got outside, means from outside sources. Okay. So if you don't get a offer from the campus placements or campus internships, the best bet is to like get a referral from someone who is working at a certain company and then apply online on the company portal. Right. Other than that, if you are looking to get an internship in a startup, so the best another way is that you can cold mail the recruiters, or you can cold mail the I think the tech leads as well if it is a startup. But for MNCs, I think the easiest way is to get a referral and then you apply online. But I don't think like Microsoft or Google really hires off, means is means Microsoft doesn't really hire off campus. So don't really have the expectations that if you don't get Microsoft internship from the campus placements, you will get an opportunity from off campus. Microsoft doesn't encourage off campus hiring, as far as I know. And like for Google as well, like getting off campus is really really tough unless you have like previous work, or like you have previous good track record or a good resume. So if you don't get a campus placement or a campus internship, your best bet to do internships is in startups, because startups really pay well, and like some startups really pay more than Microsoft and Google. And it's also like you will get more challenging work there, and your learning curve will also be better. Okay, so for startups, as I told, that the best way to get interview call is to like cold mail recruiters or HRs. And for MNCs, the best way will be to apply online with a referral.
So, how important the soft skills are, like good communication skill, good presentation skill, how much important they are?
I think not just for the interviews, like good communication skills or good or soft skills, as you say, are very important. Like in when you are in a job as well. Like let's say you have built a something, like you have built a project or you have built a software. Like if you can't explain to the person who is sitting in front, there is no point in building the project, right? You have to explain that. Like also in a company, when you are working in a company, you will work in a team, right? So if you can't communicate your work or if you can't communicate your problems with the person in front or with the other persons, like how will they solve your problems? So that's why like communication skills is very important. Like it's not that you have to speak in a very classy or like well defined or I would say well structured grammar or like, but you at least have to like be able to like communicate your thoughts to the person in front. Okay, so like someone who is not very good at communicating or like doesn't have very good speaking skills or like, so they should try like I would say public speaking. Like public speaking helps to grow your communication skills. I think in college we have a lot of clubs, right? Uh, so you can get into a club and you can like speak whenever you get an opportunity. Like that increases your confidence and your communication skills. And apart from that, you can also take mock interviews. Like mock interviews really helps a lot. Like it, if you have never given an interview before, so if you give mock interviews, like you will get a lot, means you will get a lot more knowledge on how you should communicate in the interview. And like what are the things you should say and what are the things you should not say in an interview. Okay, so these are the two things you can do or like people can do if they are like really underconfident about their communication skills.
So suppose there is a student who doesn't know anything about coding. So what should be a correct path for him to learn coding?
If someone doesn't really know what is coding or like has never done coding before in school or something like before coming into college, so the best thing will be like start with the basics, like what are programming language, what are for loops, what are if else, like what are conditional statements, things like that. You can learn the basic stuff from YouTube. There are plenty of channels for learning the basic stuff. And then pick up a language. Like I would say you can pick up Python, and I think you can pick either C++ or Java, anything. And then start learning the basic things like what for loops, if else, conditional statements, output and input statements. And like we have those printing star patterns, things like those. Okay, so that will be the basic step one can start with if they doesn't know what's programming. And I think that in 3 or 4 months you can like know what is the basic things that are required in programming, and then you can start with DSA and CP as I told, and gradually build on top of that.
One last question, that how is the work culture at Google? Like
I
what
think the work
perks a software engineer gets at Google?
I think we get a lot of perks, like not only in Google, like when I used to work at Microsoft also, like used to get a lot of perks. Like first of all, the work culture is very good. In Google or especially in Google, like you are never the smartest person in the room. Someone knows something or better than you at any point of time. Okay, so apart from that, if you talk about the perks, we generally have a lot of engineering challenges as well. Like you get to solve a lot of real life problems in both Google and Microsoft. And if I talk about the non-engineering perks, like we also have a lot of non-engineering perks. Like we get like we have 24/7 open cafeteria areas. Like we have free food and like 3 meals a day. Like and you get a lot of varieties in food like continental, Chinese, and a lot of those stuffs. And apart from that, we also have medical insurance and other benefits as well. And also you have other health facilities, like you have gyms and like massage centers that you can book. You also get free health checkups. So like you get a lot of perks outside of work as well. And in if I talk about the engineering aspect as well, like you get a lot of challenges as well. Like you get to solve a lot of engineering problems or real life problems. And also you get to build a lot of, means you get to build products which are literally used by a lot of people. So for example, I work in Google Maps. So basically, Maps is literally used by everyone. So you will also have the satisfaction that you are building something that is used by billions of people. So I think that's the biggest perk of working in a big tech. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, so at last, I am so thankful, Deep, that you have given us your precious time and so many well wishes from our side for your bright future. Thank you so much.